All right, good afternoon to our listeners. Welcome to yet another episode of Campus Chronicles. I'm your host, Jay, and we are here in the studio with an economist, Mr. George N. Tonga. So you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
We are so happy to have you.
Thank you.
We believe that we're going to have a good time discussing the Zambian economic outlook, which is inflation, investment, and the role of policy. We believe that we have the right person for this discussion.
Thank you.
And we know that we're going to learn a lot. So to start with, without further ado, because we're already behind time, I would just like you to introduce yourself more. Tell us a little more about yourself and what you do exactly.
All right. My name is George Mtonga. I was born in Ndola on the Copper Belt. I did my primary education at Uni, and then Kansenshi. I relocated to the USA when I was about 13. I finished high school there. For my undergraduate, I went to Hunter College. I finished a bachelor degree in economics and another bachelor degree in political science. And then I went into investment banking.
Okay.
I worked in investment banking as well as insurance for, I would say, from 2008 to maybe about 2020.
Wow.
And then after 2020, I opened up my own company. So I do a lot of advisory work as well as CFO type of work.
Okay.
I have my master's in business administration, and I'm currently a student at the University of Texas for a master's in accounting.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Where do you get that motivation to do so many things? I need it, honestly, because I'm lazy, and I was telling my friends the other time, I'm like, I'm just going to end at this. When I get my degree, maybe my master's, and that's it. What's your drive? What drives you?
I think you the more you are in the world, the more awareness you have that you don't know anything.
Oh.
So you're searching to fill those gaps. So you can work in an environment, you can even have a PhD and you find yourself still trying to understand different concepts. So
Still
I think
wanting more.
yes, living a life of learning and education, I think that's critical.
Oh,
Yes.
that's beautiful. All right. So, what areas of economic policy are you most focused on recently, and how do you see your work contributing to addressing Zambia's present challenges?
So I've always been interested in one major elephant in the room, and that is our debt restructuring process, because it feeds everything.
Do you want to explain a little what that is?
Okay.
Maybe we have somebody listening and they don't really understand what debt restructuring is.
No problem. So debt restructuring is, think of a situation where you have a loan from Zanaco. You have a 10,000 kwacha loan from Zanaco. It's at 30%. Zanaco gave you the money when things were not good. Maybe you were not working, but so they ended up charging you 30%. Then you get a job, a very good job. Then you go to ABS and say, hey, these are my new financials. Can you guys refinance this 10,000 kwacha? And because at this point you are working, you are responsible, you pay your bills, Zanaco, ABSA will say, well, I think we can lower your interest rate. So at that point, you get the same 10,000 kwacha, but now it only costs you 15%. So what the government is doing is that because remember, we are just defaulted in 2020, right? We defaulted on our loans. So that puts us in a very bad credit category. Yes. So the government is saying, well, with the election of President Hakainde Hichilema, not to make this about politics, but the market just felt that the president was a better person for this type of economy. So as a result, the market gave the president an opportunity to renegotiate the debt.
Okay.
By restructuring the debt, the amount of money it costs us to maintain that debt goes down.
Okay.
So that's the elephant in the room. Addressing that addresses inflation, addresses cost of living. It addresses pretty much all the microeconomic issues that we are facing as a country. Because when our debt is not extremely high, guess what? I can also go to the central bank and say, hey, our fiscal position is very good. We need to lower interest rates. When we lower national interest rates, businesses get to borrow money at a cheaper rate, which allows them to expand. And when businesses are expanding, guess what happens? They hire more people. So this is why the president is narrowly focused on addressing debt issues in this country, because everything feeds off that.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Sweet and to the point.
Thank you.
Let's get right into it then. Okay, so many people are feeling the rising of the cost of living. It's we can feel it literally.
Yes.
And from your perspective, what are the main drivers of inflation in Zambia today? Are they more related to domestic issues like agricultural production or energy supply, or more to external factors like global commodity prices and currency instability?
Oh, no, 100%. Thank you very much for the question. So, standard textbook economics will tell you that inflation is driven as a result of the production cycle. So whether it's agriculture, banking, transportation, everything is going to move because of one element, and that is energy.
Okay.
You've already noticed the moment fuel prices goes up, everybody starts increasing prices, because fuel is at the inception of the production cycle. So if you want to control the cost of living, you need to make fuel cheaper. Obviously, the government can't go to people and say, start charging this, right? We are in a free market economy.
Yes.
Electricity is produced as a result of demand. Fuel comes in as a result of demand. So there's nothing the government can do about that. What the government can do is provide incentives, tax incentives, as well as regulatory incentives for people to come and say, hey, if I start a business selling fuel in Zambia, this is how much I'm going to be taxed. So let me do this. Let me build a fuel depot in each province, so that the price of fuel coming from Lusaka going to Luapula is not affected by the transportation.
Yes.
Because the fuel is already in Luapula. You see, the government can create incentives to help fuel prices go down, and as a result, it feeds the cost of living.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a very X plus Y type of equation.
It is, indeed it is. So in this environment of inflation and policy uncertainty, what sectors of the economy are still attractive to investors?
You invest when things are not good.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, no, because remember, when people do not see opportunity, same thing like the people with the gold rush, I think it was a Western province or Northwestern, yeah. When there was just sand in the ground, nobody was there.
Exactly.
The guys that went there the first time when there was nothing, those are the ones that took out most of the investment advantage. The people that started going after, they couldn't find as much investment return as the initial people. So when you look at Zambia and you say, what are the best areas of investment? Energy. The weakest industry is the best place to invest in. So if I'm putting money in anything right now, I would be thinking of companies that are producing electricity, companies that are involved in solar, any company that's aiming to produce energy. That is one of the best areas to invest, because the consumption is there. Right now, I think there was a comment the president made where he said, George, when you produce electricity, there are people willing to buy 5 years in advance, meaning that I will buy what you produce in 5 years. That's the level of market that energy currently has in Zambia right now. So from a more structural standpoint of view, I think energy is key. You also have to look at ICT technology. A lot of young Zambians are coming up with a lot of technology ideas to make things efficient. There's one young group that I'm working with. What they want to design an app where anybody in the world can request a nurse in Zambia to visit a parent, to visit a child. Meaning I pay 300 kwacha, I go to that app, I pay 300 kwacha, and that person, the app assigns me a nurse, and that nurse takes my address and goes to my grandmother in Masala to take her temperature. That's the innovation that young Zambians are coming up with. So I think there's a lot of opportunity in technology because it's creating efficiencies, and money will always follow efficiencies. Energy is one area. And above all, you need to look at the centrality of this country. This country has access to practically 8 countries. Zambia is so central where we can feed the entire SADC region. We are 21 million people in a country that can take 300 million, meaning the rest of the land is available for us to do agriculture.
Yeah.
We can feed the entire SADC region if we decided that agriculture is a priority. There are some tax incentives right now. For example, you can bring in irrigation equipment at low taxes. So the government has already been pushing for tax incentives as well as regulatory incentives for agriculture. But yeah, let me say this. The money that I have, I'm investing in energy, agriculture, and technology.
Okay, great. Okay, so what do you think are the biggest barriers to both foreign and local investment, and how could policy help to reduce those barriers?
Regulatory.
Oh, yeah?
Barriers are always from a regulation standpoint of view. In fact, when the stock market hit, like I think the Lusaka Stock Exchange was one of the best performing stock exchanges in Africa, the president held a meeting with some of the leaders in capital markets, and he discussed the idea of making trading, buying and selling of shares 24 hours. So those are the incentives that the government is trying to give the market to say, hey guys, Zambia is open for business. And if you want to be trading stocks every hour, you can be doing that. We'll give you 24 hours. So in order for us to attract investors, both local and foreign, we need to create a system that allows these investors to participate in capital markets in an efficient way. We need to leverage technology, because I need to be in Dubai and I know that the market in Lusaka is open and I need to buy Airtel. I can do that. I don't need to be in Zambia to transact.
Exactly.
You see, that's where the government I think is doing a great job, and they should continue doing that. They need to make it easier for me to buy something in capital markets.
Right. Given the context of inflation and investment challenges, what are the realistic policy tools the government and the central bank should be deploying now? For example, how should fiscal policy, monetary policy, or regulatory changes be used to bring stability and confidence?
We need to show the world that we are not going to keep business people 6 months into coming into Zambia. They have $500 million and they spend 2 years trying to be compliant. We need to show that.
Yes.
We need to show them that if you have the money, if you have $700 million right now to start a power plant, it will take us 6 months to make sure that from a regulatory and compliance standpoint of view, you have everything.
Yes.
We're not saying that we'll let you just come in and do whatever you want. No, we're just saying that it won't take 2 years. You see? And that's something we need to project to the world, to say we are going to make doing business in Zambia extremely easy. You will obviously be compliant with our laws because our laws are there for a reason.
Yes.
But we're not going to drop a huge amount of paperwork on you. By the time, remember, when I get the $700 million, I need it to start working right now in order for me to gain value. If it doesn't start working right now, simple economics tells me that it will be eaten up by inflation. So today it's $700 million. In 2 years it's 650. That's how inflation works. So I need to be able to deploy that money as fast as possible.
Right.
So if we want to attract the world from a central bank standpoint of view, from a fiscal standpoint of view, the major element is we need to make sure businesses and business leaders in the world understand that our regulatory framework is pro-business. That's one. Second, from a taxation standpoint of view, the government has produced some of the most tax cuts When the president just became president, our corporate tax was 35%.
Oh yeah.
It went down to 30%. I personally have been arguing that we can even push it further to 25%.
Even better.
Even better. The more tax cuts we give the private sector, the more money they remain with so that they can go and invest. They can build apartments. They can start transportation. They can put money in energy. You see? So the government needs to continuously provide tax incentives, and I think the UPND government has been doing a very good job, because even the tax bands have increased. So at one point, you started paying taxes when you're making 5,000 kwacha. We want that to continue going up, so that even somebody who's making 7,000 kwacha doesn't pay any payee tax. I would love to see that, because that means more money in the pockets of Zambians for them to do other things. So I only need two things from the government: proper compliance, proper regulatory environment, and lower taxes. That's it. You give our economy these two things, Zambians are innovative enough to create value.
Yes, we are. Okay, so moving forward, how are small businesses and ordinary households coping with inflation and investment constraints? How do you think?
No, it's extremely difficult. I don't think anybody can come and say, if you are running a business in Zambia, you will agree, especially the small businesses, you will agree that things are very difficult.
Yes.
Like even at a barbershop salon level, things are very difficult, you see. But at the same time, I think from a government standpoint of view, we have to ask ourselves two things. Should we create shortcuts to the problems we're having now, or should we just say, okay, you know what, this is the time. We will never have this opportunity again. Let's fix this issue once and for all. Because you don't want to be in a situation, you guys are growing up, next 20, 30 years, I'll be 70. You guys maybe will be what, 40, 50, somewhere there? You will be me at that time.
Yes.
Do you want to still come and explain about load shedding?
No.
So at some point, one generation needs to take the hit and say, okay, we will suffer for the future.
Please take the heat for us.
And that's what we are doing. We want to say, you know what, let's not, I'm tired. I'm personally tired of shortcuts. Fix this once and for all, so that you guys can come and start dealing with different issues. There's no way I should be talking about the same issue my grandparents were talking about. No way. I refuse to live in a country like that. This is why this ends with us. And it will be painful. It's going to be extremely painful. But it has to end with us. It has to end with this generation. I sympathize 100% with small businesses. And this is where the government, I think, can come in to assist the small businesses is, if you know our small businesses are struggling, look at that turnover tax. Maybe we can reduce it. If it's at 5%, reduce it to 4%. This way, because remember, the only benefit that we can provide small businesses is giving them better compliance procedures and giving them some type of tax break. This allows us to focus on fixing what we need to fix, especially from an energy crisis standpoint of view. I don't think we should be putting bandages anymore. It's either we do it now or we never do it, or again, our children, the same ones who are 2 years, 3 years old, are the ones who come back and start complaining about load shedding. So I sympathize with small businesses. I think the government needs to be aware that small businesses are having a very difficult time. And what can we do to assist them in the short term without compromising our long-term overall strategy to fix the energy issue in this country?
Right. All right, so before we break away from the serious business, I'll ask one more question, then we go to what we call the trivia challenge session. It's all fun, nothing serious,
No
just
problem.
to breathe. Yeah, so before we go there, let me ask you this last question. Looking ahead, what do you see as the greatest risks that could derail Zambia's economic recovery? And on the flip side, what opportunities exist perhaps in the agriculture, mining, energy, or technology sector that the country should leverage to build resilient growth? If you need me to repeat that question, I could.
No, I'm all right.
Yeah.
So Zambia doesn't have a lot of systematic risk, right? Like you have your forex issues, but we are not really in control of that. That's tied, in my view, in my theoretical view, our currency is purely tied to the global perception of copper prices, and that's a dependency that eventually we need to run away from. So that's that. I think personally, for me, the greatest risk in this country that can derail our development is the level of insurance penetration.
Okay.
We are not insured as a country. This is why when a market burns, the life that our people have been building gets burnt in one day. They spent 20 years building their small businesses, and the place just burns away, and that's it. It ends right there. So as we recover and as we progress as a country, we should see the level of insurance reflective of our growth. You cannot be a $50 billion country in GDP and you generate about what, $300 million in insurance premiums across the board? Because think about it like this. If as a parent I died, the moment I pass away, I have nothing left for my children. They can never go to school. Because why? I never had life insurance.
Yeah.
But if I have life insurance, guess what? The progress that I made is continuously sustained.
Yes.
Because my life insurance will now pay for my children. It's as if I never even left. You see? So if we manage to build our economy to this $50 billion level, I would like to see this economy insured. That is the only way we can protect ourselves, because anytime something goes wrong, it's not like we have to go back. Because if people don't have life insurance, guess what happens? Now we need to make sure that you guys have student loans at UNZA. Because your parents died and you've given us a sad story on Facebook. Now we have to bring our money together to send you to school. That's money that could have gone and buy a VITS so that it can start producing value in our economy. The fact that we don't manage our risk, the fact that we are not insured, for me, I feel is the greatest challenge or greatest risk, I would say, to our growth. Because every time we grow, and something bad happens, we go back.
Yeah.
But if we were insured, it's sort of like a buffer. We may not grow, but we will not go back. We will be there, we'll be maintained right there. That's what I would love to see. I would love to see our government continuously promote, in fact, even make it a mandate for certain activities in our economy to be insured. The same way it's now a mandate for a car. You cannot drive a car in the Republic of Zambia without insurance. Guess what that has done? It has allowed us to be able to say, okay, somebody gets into an accident, where's the insurance? The insurance can cover some type of funeral benefits. It can do a lot of things. Nowadays, you hear a kid gets run over. Back in the day, if there's no insurance, there's nothing anybody can do. But now we can say, okay, who has the liability? Because now you need to compensate for that kid's medical bills.
Yes.
You see? So in order for us to sustain and protect the progress that we're making in this economy, we need to make sure insurance is following our growth. The more money I make in my life, the more insurance I get. The more our country progresses, the more insurance I should see.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Enough of the economics.
Oh.
My head is burning right now. So let's have a little fun. So I've got a couple of riddles with me. Yes. So and initially when we started the show, would give out something,
Okay.
But then what can we give you? So we just have some fun. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first question, the first riddle I have for you is, I can't talk, but I will reply when spoken to. What am I?
My wife?
I'll give you another chance to try and get it
I
right.
I
can't
can't
talk,
talk.
but I will reply when I'm spoken to. What am I?
Microphone.
No, one last chance. One last one. One last chance.
Is it okay, I'll pass on that one. I don't
Okay,
think I
so
know it.
the answer is an echo.
Oh!
Please don't ask me how.
The microphone, I think, was close.
Yeah, it was close, but it was not it. Yeah.
Okay,
So the
okay,
second
an
one
echo.
is I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, water but no fish. What am I?
A desert. No?
No.
Repeat that again.
I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, water but no fish. What am I?
That sounded like a Bible verse at some point. Hey.
It's not.
Hey. Is it a human being, a place, an animal?
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yes.
And a forest but no trees.
Yeah. Cities but no houses. Water but no fish. What am
That one is difficult.
I? Okay. So the answer is a map.
I need to see what's coming up with these
I
windows.
know, right? The third one is what building has the most stories? What building has the most stories?
This is a tricky one. What building has the most
Stories.
Oh, a room where politicians are gathered?
Oh my god.
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay. So the answer is a
Basically-
library.
Oh?
A library.
I know a student wrote this one.
Yes,
Yeah,
obviously.
because you really have to be in college to think like this.
Yes. So the second last is which country was the first one to have a president?
I'm 3-0 right now. I gotta get one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Which country was the first one to have a president, like as in elected president?
I think so. I think so. If I was you, I wouldn't even guess. But yeah. Which country was the first to have a president?
A president. So a president in the form of what we know, elected officials, they go for elections and stuff like that?
Yes,
The United States?
exactly.
Okay, there you go.
At least you got one.
Thank you.
One last one. What begins with an E but only has one letter in it? What begins with an E but only has one letter in it?
E.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't E be the answer?
No, it's not. What begins with an E but only
What
has...
begins with the letter E?
Yes, but only has one letter inside it.
I'll take the 4 and 1. I don't know that one.
An envelope.
How?
It begins the word envelope begins with the letter E.
E.
And you can only put one letter in it.
Definitely a student wrote that
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
Damn.
So yeah, we'll take a break and come back. We're remaining with about 3 questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
so
right.
we'll take a break and then come back. See you when we're back. Hello, welcome back to Campus Chronicles. For those that are just joining in, we're having a beautiful topic with Mr. George. Yeah, and so our topic of the day is the Zambian economic outlook, the role of policy, investment, and inflation. It has been a beautiful moment this far. And so for you that is just joining in and you would like to catch up we have this recorded and it will be posted on our YouTube channel later on. So you can just basically subscribe and you'll get to watch it later. Mr. George, you are welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're remaining with just 2 questions.
Okay.
Yes. So the first one is, with high MPR, I think MPR is what? Monetary policy rate, right? Yeah, so with high MPR that the Bank of Zambia has maintained to keep inflation down, how would you describe it when it comes to investment for locals? What are the effects?
The strategy that the central bank is using, without a doubt, makes it difficult for locals to invest because money is now expensive. But it's by design. The idea is, if we do not allow cheap money to come into the market, because that's the whole point with the central government when they reduce interest rates, money becomes cheap. You can go and borrow money at the bank, at Zanaco. It becomes just way cheaper, right? So what the central bank tries to do whenever they come up with that strategy is that they try to control how fast business leaders as well as the private sector makes decisions. And by controlling the cost of money, people become more cautious. People are not taking unnecessary risks. When individuals in the market are operating like that, you have a more stable economy. And I think the strategy, if I'm at the central bank, I'm telling myself this: I'm going to make money a little bit more expensive in the short term. This way I can catch up from a fiscal standpoint of view to provide a buffer. So as we build a stable economy, the central bank is also increasing its balance sheet in terms of assets. Recently, I think our reserves were like about $4 billion, right? Okay. $4 billion. So the government is not necessarily, doing it because they don't want the economy to grow. No, they want the economy to grow, but they want the economy to grow intelligently. They don't want a lot of speculation in the economy, because cheap money is always equal to speculation. The cheaper the money, the more speculation. And this is why you've seen in the booms and busts of this world, it has always been followed that we're going to have a bust when money was cheap. Because people took a lot of money, increased leverage, and they didn't have the real raw assets to back up their investments. So when the bankman called for the loans, they didn't have the money to pay, so they default. So our government, my understanding, just from the outside looking at the policies, we are trying to get to a level where there's stability in the economy to such an extent where there are global shocks in the world, we can still survive. Right now, think about it like this. If the Americans, if the British, if the Chinese are crying, what do you think will be happening in Zambia? We'll probably be dead.
Yes.
If they are crying, we are dead. So, but that's where now leadership comes into play. I don't care even if the economies are big, I would rather be in an environment in Zambia where we approach the world cautiously. If the world is burning, do we have water to throw on our borders so that it doesn't come to us? Can we feed our people? So we are doing, it's less glamorous. And I think this is just something about the president and some of our leaders. They're not glamorous, but in terms of outright talking about, yes, we're doing this, we're going to do this, because the real work is not that beautiful. The real work is actually boring. It's the same thing every day. It's the same document. It's the same analysis. But that's what's going to create the level of stability where if anything happened, we can at least take care of our people. We might not be able to help everybody, but the idea is, okay, at least Zambians are safe. So from a central bank standpoint of view, this is why you're seeing there's that level of control, because we don't want things to go out of control. And when things go bad, everybody says what? Boma ilangane. They run to the government. So the government would say, okay, we already know, and by law, we obviously have to take care of our people. We can't ignore you. So if I'm going to have to take care of you regardless of your behavior, at least let me be in a safe position.
Of course.
So I think that's the attitude that the central bank has, where it's like, okay, let's increase our reserves. Let's make sure there's not a lot of investment speculation in the market. We are, I think, cautious, and we are playing the long game, a very safe long game. Yes.
It's better safe and long,
Yes.
than
Yes.
unsafe and short.
Yes.
Yeah, so that brings us to our last but not the least question. What role does monetary policy by the Bank of Zambia play in managing inflation and growth? In your view, what new policies should be prioritized to create jobs and support inclusive growth?
I think one of the best one is that reserve ratio on cash and cash equivalents. Like, how much money do we have in reserve? It can be in gold, it can be in foreign exchange, it can be in any amount. It can be in USD. I've always believed, like, even just operating and functioning as a CFO, I need 10% of my assets in cash in case things burn out. So for them, for the central bank, from a policy standpoint of view, I would like to see at least, I would like to see 20% of our debt as a reserve. So if we owe the world $50 billion, I would like to see $10 billion as a reserve.
Okay.
So that's a strategy I would love to see. Now, in terms of the central bank's role in providing growth, it's always interest rates. That's the only thing that can do. They can just say, we'll give you guys money at a cheaper rate. The moment they give us money at a cheaper rate, guess what? My initial plan was 5 flats. Now I can borrow money. I'm going to do 10.
10, exactly.
And I'm going to hire more people. That's how the central bank helps our economy. But the central bank can do that the moment they feel that the economy is not extremely speculative. Yes, there is money. Yes, we can build all these things, but are there people to rent it? You see?
Yeah.
And if there are no people to rent it, now I have money that I can't pay. So the bank has to be aware of all these extreme variables, like, okay, what if this happened? So it's not just lowering rates. No, it's not just that. The bank is looking at least 1,000 variables that can change just because the central bank said that our rates are now 12%. So it's not a decision you have to make simply because of political pressure. It's a decision you have to make as a result of the data, because any wrong move is going to cause chaos. All the things that the central bank has tried to manage can be destroyed by just one decision. So I think we have leaders that are extremely cautious. They know they know they can grow fast. If you see the president, he's always talking about an average GDP of 5%, and the IMF is projecting almost 6% this year. Those numbers sound very well, but at the same time, the central bank can push those numbers to 8%. But we do not want to overexpose ourselves. We would rather grow organically. So from a policy standpoint of view, I think the central bank is where it should be, and that is caution. I think the central bank is where they need to be at the moment.
Great. Crystal clear. This has been very informative. I've learned so much. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have any last words for our listeners? Anything that you'd love?
I think for the University of Zambia students, I'm assuming it's a majority of you guys that listen to this program, as well as just students in general. Do not be afraid to ask questions. We only learn when we ask questions. I can guarantee you, as a fact, you guys are the future of this country. So if you do not understand these policies, if you do not understand these strategies, you may end up doing the wrong things in the future.
Very true.
So my encouragement to you guys is ask questions and demand answers, because you are asking questions for your future or on behalf of your future. So please feel free to invite me at any point in the future. Let's discuss these matters, because they affect you and they will affect your children. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. So would love you to give credit to the association of the UNZA and Campus Chronicles. It's a special request.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So a shout out, or
Yeah, something like that. Something
hold on,
like
let me actually see what I'm supposed to say. All right. All right. So, first and foremost, giving out a shout out to Douglas. He's the one who's been, hey, George, where are you? Are you in Dubai? What time are you coming? Where is this? So, I think without Douglas, I don't think I would have been able to make it. But Unza Mesa has been a good friend of mine. We've had some discussions. I'm very proud of the organization in terms of what they are trying to achieve and what they are doing. And hopefully, this is not the last time they will have me.
Of course.
I would love to host something where, it's just a small get together where we debate some of these issues that I think all of us enjoy. But Unza Mesa, thank you very much for having me. Douglas, thank you for your continued persistence to try and get me to come to the radio, and thank you very much for this for this great opportunity.
I'm sure he's listening and he's happy. All right, this brings us to the end of our show. Thank you so much.